Hi there. So I'm about to hire a virtual assistant, but I have to say I find it very difficult and frustrating to hire um, the right people. And I don't know about you, but I really would like to learn. What are your practices, your best practices? What are your experiences with hiring people? I've We've got a couple of great people working for us, but we also have some hires that we had to say goodbye to because it didn't work out as we expected. And I think that's always a big drama. It's a lost opportunity for all parties. It's a lose-lose situation because a lot of time is wasted. There's lots of frustration, lots of costs, lots of underperformance, and it can be for many reasons why a hire doesn't work. Is it because an issue of chemistry between him and me? Is it because the job is not fit for the person? Does it have to do with expectations that are not being met? Either my expectations of the candidate, of her, or maybe her expectations of us, of the company, or me, or her direct boss. I find it extremely difficult. And you can have interviews, we can do personality tests, we can have multiple people review or have discussions with candidates, but in the end, I think you only know if somebody is the right fit for you when they actually do the work. So I think ideally you would want them to kind of show up to work for a week or 2 weeks, work with us, and then decide to hire them, yes or no. But that's impractical. I think in reality, it's often, especially with more experienced people, they may have other jobs that they have to quit, or there may be some other exposure once they start working for us, and so it's not that practical to assume that they can just show up and be with you for a couple of weeks, interact with your customers, with your suppliers, with the other colleagues, and then get some sometimes confidential information, and then make it a hiring decision. So where that would be the best practice, in my view, it's impractical to do, I believe. Although maybe you have different experiences with that. So my question is very simple: what's your experience with hiring and firing people? And in fact, I have a little questionnaire, a little poll for you that I would like to show and that I would like to ask you. So I'm going to switch my screen around, if that's possible here. Maybe it's not, and then I can show you. Let me see if I can do that. No, I can't. So what I will do is I'll show you right here. So here, I hope you can read it. I made a few questions here for you. So I've made a little matrix here where with the main question is, what is your hiring and firing strategy? And then on the horizontal axis you see the question, I hire, or the statement, I hire fast or slow. And on the vertical axis you see the statement, I fire fast or slow. And if you look at the combinations, then you get 4 boxes, and I number them 1 through 4. So my question to you is very simple. If you want to play along, then please pick a number 1 through 4 of your most, let's say, of your preferred strategy of hiring and firing. Do you hire fast and fire fast, or do you hire slowly and fire fast, or do you hire fast and fire slowly? What is your strategy, or what are the benefits, the pros and cons of each of the strategies? What is your experience with that? So please pick one and share with me why you picked that one, and what is your experience, what's your the best practice that you have developed in your organization to hire and fire people. Because again, I think a lot of value and time is wasted whenever we make a hiring mistake. And so thank you. It's a short block today, but I think it's a very important one, especially as your company progresses from perhaps when you started your company yourself, you were a solopreneur, and let's say beyond up to 100,000 euros of revenue, you could do that by yourself, by just being more productive, more focused. But once you pass the 100,000 dollar or euro or whatever currency you use, pounds, mark, you need to start working with other people. And they can be people that you hire in your team as employees, but they can also be people that are part of your virtual network. So, of course, we can now work with people from all over the world with all the technology that we have. And especially for smaller organizations, of course, it's fantastic that you can actually build I call it an extended team of virtual team members that are experts in their respective fields, that you can just hire portions of their time, but you get access to 100% of their knowledge, you get access to 100% of their networks, you get access to 100% of their creativity, but you only pay for the actual effort, the hours that they put in, or however you define your payment or compensation scheme. So I think it's fantastic. Now, it doesn't make it necessarily easier. If you want to work with a virtual team, I'm working with people that I've never met in person. I've got some people on my virtual extended team that I've been working with successfully for over 2 years. And I've never met them. Very, very interesting times indeed. And but I think the same question applies there. It's not fundamentally different whether you hire somebody to work for you and be on your payroll full time, or whether you're working with somebody remotely. If you are hiring a designer in India that helps you to design a new logo or a website, well, there's also lots of, let's say, criteria and requirements to be met in order for that collaboration to be productive, to be successful for both parties. And I like to think in terms of long-term relationships. I don't like to hire people for a job and then find somebody else again. I'd like to. Bringing new people on board is a huge investment of time and energy on both sides. And so it's about trust, integrity. It's about work ethic. There's lots of elements that have to be in place. And what I like, by the way, as a wrap up of this conversation that we're having today, is the criteria that Warren Buffett applies when he is hiring people. And I think he looks for 3 characteristics. One is intelligence. Of course, he wants people that are intelligent, and I think he's talking about IQ, but perhaps even also about emotional intelligence. So EQ. That's number 1. Number 2, he is hiring for work ethic, which I think is freely translated as, are you committed to your job? Are you willing to work hard? Or are you a 9-to-5 person? If you're a 9-to-5 kind of guy, then, when push comes to shove, then maybe you are not there and you need to be there for the company. So yeah, he hires for work ethic. And I personally, by the way, don't believe in this idea that people need to work 60 to 80 hours. I don't believe in, because that's not sustainable in my view. It's gonna, longer term is not gonna work, because people, they get fed up, they get burned out, or they become resentful. It's just not fair. Or maybe their health starts to deteriorate, their personal relationships, they have no time for the hobbies anymore. So I'm very much a believer of work-life balance. I know there's people who say it doesn't exist, work-life balance, but that for me is BS. Work-life balance is the most important thing there is. You need to have a balance in your life, across all the key areas in your life. Your health, your key relationships, your job, your other activities that you have. To express yourself, your hobbies, travel, whatever it is, free time, sleep. So, and by the way, if there's an issue, if there's a crisis, people have to have some spare capacity. Now, if people are maxed out in terms of time or energy or effort, then, or even creativity, then when push comes to shove, they have no reserves to go the extra mile, to do something on top of what they normally do. So I think if a company expects people to work 60 to 80 hours per week, and still companies unfortunately still do, and relies on that commitment for the company to function, then in my view, the company there's a design flaw. You know, the company you need to reconsider your fundamental, your organization, your culture, your key processes, your staffing, your your roles, your priorities, your strategy. Maybe you're just trying to do too many things. Nobody can be productive for 60 to 80 hours. I'd rather have a company that can do with people working 30 hours per week, and then if need be, they can step up to 40, 50, 60 hours for the time being to fix to deal with a major crisis. And a crisis will come for every company. We don't know when, we don't know where and how, but everybody will face a good crisis from time to time. So I'm a little bit deviating now from the main topic of this conversation today, which is about hiring and firing. What's your hiring strategy? What's your firing strategy? But I thought it was related. So once more, I'll show you my graph once more here. So what's your What's your hiring strategy? What's your firing strategy? Do you hire fast? Do you hire slow? Do you fire fast? Do you fire slow? And why? Please share your experience. And what I'm going to do is, once I have all your responses from you and many others, and I find it has some statistical relevance in terms of a number of responses, I will collect them. I will do some statistics on them. I will write a little blog post on the results. I will, let's say, cluster the feedback and your comments, and then I will put it back in the post, and perhaps it gives us some new insights that we can all benefit from. So, wishing you a great day, and just do the things that you do a little bit better. Yeah? Pick one area, do one thing a little bit better than you did before. And if you do that consistently every day, then you will not recognize yourself nor your business a year from now. Bye for now, and speak soon again. Bye.